This is Taking Stock on Bloomberg. I'm Pimm Fox. My next guest prints money, literally. Joining us now for a CEO sit-down, Chad Wasilenkoff. He is the chairman and chief executive of Fortress Paper. Chad, good to have you with us again on Bloomberg.
Thanks for having me back.
Now, for people that don't know about Fortress Paper, just give them a little primer here, because you have a plant, you got a plant in Germany that was really making wallpaper, but you've got a plant, the paper plant, a mill in Switzerland that actually prints currency, right? I mean, you print the Swiss franc.
Yes, exactly. So we are a forestry company first and foremost, but we're contrarian types of investors. So right now the forestry sector has been going through very tough and challenging times. So we're looking for these distressed assets and picking them up at pennies on the dollar. So we picked up a mill in Germany. It specializes in a non-woven wallpaper base where it's dry strippable. Over the last 5 years, we've done 5 capacity expansions. The mill is completely full. We now represent 60% of the global production. Our mill in Switzerland, as you mentioned, we're the sole maker of the Swiss franc. We also do the euro for 10 countries. We do passports, visa stickers for India, China, things like that. Also a very strong growing business, and we're just completing a rebuild there. We're quadrupling our capacity. That'll be coming online here in the next 2 weeks.
So we should get ready for a lot more paper currency in the world then.
Yes, it's definitely growing in virtually every nation in the world, so things are going well.
All right, I got to ask you now about the other plant that I know that you've been working on. This is the Thurso plant in Canada, in Ontario. This is a plant that, dissolvable wood pulp, and it's used to make rayon.
Yes, correct. So the mill was formerly a very high-cost producer. It actually went bankrupt, and it was, again, a distressed asset. So we were able to acquire the mill for $1.2 million, even though the insurance replacement cost is $851 million. Once we acquired that, we got government funding in the form of loans and grants. So we're just doing the retrofit now to make a whole new product and a better utilization of these assets to make dissolving pulp, which is used in rayon production. It ends up being in the lining of suits, saris in India, women's blouses, things like that. So it's a competitor, or it's displacing the cotton industry, and things are going very well there. We haven't made our first sheet of dissolving pulp yet, and we've sold almost 80% of our production in 5- and 10-year contracts. Total contract value is about $1.5 billion, and we haven't made a sheet yet.
I'm going to follow the thread, so to speak, all the way to China, because I know that you've just come back from China, and the possibility of them using rayon in their products, in their manufactured apparel, is something that the Chinese like very much, because cotton production around the world is constrained, right?
Absolutely. Hectares or the planted hectares of cotton continue to decrease. Reason is it's very expensive for the farmers. It's more profitable for them to grow palm oil, soybeans, things like that. There's so much use of herbicides, pesticides, fertilizers, an aggressive and incredible amount of water is required to grow cotton. So it is an environmental issue as well. We've all seen cotton prices spike here recently. Again, there's just that much demand. In all these economies such as India, Indonesia, China, they're moving up the income ladder. First thing they buy is a cell phone. Second thing they do is improve their wardrobe, and cotton can't keep up to that demand.
All right, so you're a bet not only on paper money, but also on wallpaper and rayon. But you were in China, and were you talking to them about maybe printing their currency?
They have their own production facilities, so they produce the substrate of the paper as well as doing all the printing. However, we've been collaborating for multiple years now on a new product. We have a product called DuraSafe. We take 2 thin sheets of cotton banknote paper.
And you've got a third sheet in between, right?
Exactly.
It's 3 layers.
Yep. So we ended up with transparent windows in the banknote, plus almost triple the durability. So it's very cost-effective as well as a much more secure product. We feel, and have been told by numerous people in national banks, that we have the premier R&D team in the industry. And in terms of national banks, the Chinese would probably have the most pronounced and advanced group of people as well. So we are collaborating and looking at either putting this new series into the Chinese currency, into the renminbi, or potentially as the world's reserve currency. The Chinese are pushing forward on that. They're starting to get some support in Europe on that. And of course, if you're going to launch something like that, you need to make sure it's the most secure type of banknote in the world. So we're happy to partner with them, and things are going very well there.
Chad, what's the goal for the company, for Fortress Paper? What would you like to see happen?
Well, we're planning on doubling our wallpaper capacity. We're just finishing, as I mentioned, quadrupling our banknote capacity. And I would like to at least triple or quadruple our dissolving pulp capacity, all within the next 12 to 18 months. So while the forestry sector is going through challenging times, we're guns a-blazing and going forward as fast as we can.
Are there still a lot of distressed assets out there?
Yes, there are. So it's not all of them are ideally suited, but unfortunately in the forestry sector there's a lot of distressed assets.
Well, I want to thank you for sharing your insights with us and sharing a little bit of a behind-the-scenes look at the forestry, paper, and the rayon business. Chad Wasilenkoff of Fortress Paper. Thank you very much.